What if I told you that one man, sitting at a wooden desk in a quiet office, rewrote the laws of the entire universe? What if I told you that time itself, the one thing we all thought was absolute, could actually slow down? That space isn't just an empty void, but a fabric that can be bent, stretched, and warped, and that everything we thought we knew about reality for 300 years was incomplete? This is the story of Albert Einstein, the man who transformed physics, challenged centuries of scientific dogma, and unlocked the deepest secrets of the cosmos. But Einstein wasn't born a genius with all the answers. In fact, for a long time, the world thought he would fail. He was a high school dropout, a struggling job seeker, and a rebellious outsider. So how did he go from a quiet child with a compass to the global icon of intelligence? So today, on this episode of the Titans of History, on the Mega Brain Show, we are tracing the arc of a mind that proved the box we live in never really existed. But before we start, please make sure to click that like and subscribe button while considering watching till the end. It really means a lot to the channel. Albert Einstein was born in 1879 inches Ulm, Germany, into a world that was just beginning to master electricity. As a child, he was anything but a prodigy. He was quiet, introspective, and notoriously slow to speak. Some family accounts suggest he didn't speak fluently until the age of 4, leading his parents to fear he might have a learning disability. His teachers didn't see a genius. They saw a rebellious, distracted student who hated the rigid Prussian style of rote memorization. One teacher famously told him he would never amount to much. But while his peers were memorizing dates and names, Albert was obsessed with the invisible. At age 5, his father showed him a simple pocket compass. Young Albert was electrified. The needle moved without anything touching it, guided by an unseen force. This spark ignited a lifelong obsession. What are the invisible rules that govern the world? If the compass needle moves, what else is moving behind the curtain of our reality? By his teenage years, Einstein's rebellion against authority was complete. He dropped out of his German high school and eventually made his way to Switzerland to study at the Zurich Polytechnic. Even there, he wasn't a star student. He skipped lectures to read the latest physics journals at local cafes and relied on his friend Marcel Grossman's meticulous notes to pass exams. When he graduated in 1900, his professors refused to give him a recommendation. For 2 years, he was unemployed and desperate, eventually settling for a lowly job as a technical expert Class 3 at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. To many, this looked like a dead end, a bright mind wasted on filing paperwork for elevator pulleys and gravel sorters. But for Einstein, it was a sanctuary. The job was easy for him, leaving his mind free to wander into the deepest corners of the universe. In the temple of science that was the patent office, Einstein began his true work. In 1905, while still working his day job, Einstein published 4 papers in the journal Annalen der Physik. History now calls this his annus mirabilis, his miracle year. In his first paper, he tackled the photoelectric effect. He proposed that light isn't just a wave, but is made of individual packets of energy called photons. This was the birth of quantum mechanics, a discovery that would eventually earn him the Nobel Prize. In his second paper, he used mathematics to prove that atoms actually exist, ending a centuries-old debate. But it was his third and fourth papers that shattered our understanding of existence. He introduced special relativity. He realized that if the speed of light is constant, then time and space must be flexible. He imagined a person on a moving train and a person standing on a platform. They would experience time differently. From this, he derived the world's most famous equation, E equals mc squared. This simple formula revealed that mass and energy are 2 versions of the same thing. A small amount of matter contains a terrifying amount of energy. In one single year, a 26-year-old clerk had dismantled the physics of Isaac Newton and built a new universe from the ground up. Einstein wasn't satisfied. Special relativity only worked for objects moving at a constant speed. He spent the next 10 years trying to include gravity. In 1915, he revealed his masterpiece, the general theory of relativity. Einstein reimagined gravity not as a pull between objects, but as a curvature in the very fabric of space and time, what he called space-time. Imagine placing a bowling ball on a trampoline. It creates a dip. A marble rolled nearby will fall toward the ball, not because of an invisible force, but because the surface is curved. That is how the sun keeps the Earth in orbit. In 1919, during a total solar eclipse, astronomers measured the light from distant stars as it passed near the sun. The light bent exactly as Einstein predicted. Headlines around the world screamed, "Lights all askew in the heavens." Overnight, Einstein became the most famous scientist in human history. He was a celebrity on par with Charlie Chaplin, a man whose mind had looked into the dark and seen the curvature of the stars. Einstein's fame coincided with the darkest chapter of the 20th century. As a Jewish man in a rising Nazi Germany, he became a target. In 1933, he fled his homeland, eventually settling at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey. Though he was a lifelong pacifist, he was also a realist. In 1939, fearing that German scientists were using his E=mc² to build a weapon of mass destruction, he signed a letter to President Roosevelt urging the U.S. to begin its own research. This led to the Manhattan Project. Einstein never worked on the bomb itself, but the knowledge that his theories helped create it haunted him. He spent the rest of his life advocating for nuclear disarmament and world peace. A genius caught in the gears of a world that turned his beauty into fire. Despite his celestial mind, Einstein was deeply human. He was known for his eccentricities, his refusal to wear socks, his messy shock of white hair, and his love for the violin. He struggled in his personal life, going through a difficult divorce from his first wife, Mileva Maric, and having a complicated relationship with his children. He was a man who could solve the riddles of the cosmos, but often felt lost in the complexities of human emotion. He famously said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." It was this curiosity that made him a citizen of the world, a man who cared more about the old one, his name, for the laws of nature, than for the formalities of society. In his final decades, Einstein became a lonely figure in the world of physics. He spent 30 years trying to find a unified field theory, a single equation that would combine gravity with electromagnetism. He wanted to read the mind of God. But the scientific world was moving toward quantum mechanics, a field Einstein helped start but eventually grew to dislike because of its reliance on randomness. He famously argued, "God does not play dice with the universe." He never found his final equation. He died in 1955, leaving behind a chalkboard filled with unfinished math, the final testament to a man who never stopped asking, why? Albert Einstein's legacy isn't just in textbooks, it's in your pocket. Your smartphone's GPS would fail within miles if it didn't account for the fact that time moves faster for satellites than it does for you on the ground, just as Einstein predicted. From black holes to gravitational waves, every major discovery of the last century has proven him right. He showed us that the universe is far stranger, more beautiful, and more connected than we ever imagined. From a quiet child with a compass to the man who redefined reality, Albert Einstein didn't just think outside the box. He proved the box was an illusion. What part of Einstein's theory fascinates you the most? Is it the idea of time travel, the power of mass and energy, or his search for a theory of everything? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey into the mind of a legend, make sure to subscribe to the Mega Brain Show channel, and thank you so much for watching till the end. It is tremendously appreciated. We'll see you next time.